Good afternoon. Welcome to another English lesson. Today, my friends, we're going to have the last class working on unit number 4 in your Spotlights on Literature. From next week, we're going to start working with the English ID. So this is what we're going to do next class, which I think is gonna be next Monday, since we're not having classes Wednesday because it's Independence Day. And without no further ado, let's move to the lesson in your books. So open your books, please, page 90. 90 in your Spotlights on Literature. The topic for the class is idioms. So we'll see what idioms are and what do we use them for. Let's see.
In this class, we are using our Spotlight on Literature C, page 90, and the topic is idioms. Let's begin. On your books, you will find an important information and background information about idioms. And the section is called Learn the Concepts. There is a deep connection between language and culture. Remember that culture influences a lot of words and phrases that make the English language. When learning another language, you have the opportunity to approach ideas, attitudes, and tastes that may be different from yours. Sometimes they will be different. In other opportunities, you will see that we have a lot of things alike. Expanding your cultural horizons can help you appreciate life from different perspectives, and so enrich your knowledge of self and of others. And then we have the concept of an idiom. What is an idiom? It's an expression that has a cultural meaning which differs from the literal or dictionary meanings of the words in which it is composed. So you don't have to take them literal because
And one thing, and I think one thing that I want you to point out is sometimes people confuse because of the similarity with the Spanish word idiomas. So this is not a language. An idiom is an expression or saying that is very popular and also is something that is not literal. And it's just one thing, those words that are similar to a word with a different meaning in another language is called false cognate. False cognates are words that look very similar in English and Spanish, but they mean something totally different. Those are called false friends and false cognates. False cognates and false friends. Because I repeat, idiom is not a language. It's not un idioma. It's an expression, not a language.
we are using some metaphors or also this is figurative language. And if you take the words, the phrases literally, they won't make any sense or they will sound weird, and you will definitely lose the meaning of what people are trying to say. People who are native or fluent speakers of a language and share a common culture often use idioms as a part of their colloquial everyday speech. Because we don't speak literally every time in every conversation we had with friends, family, or whosoever, we use certain collocational phrases to help us to express ourselves in a more illustrated or colorful way. So can you imagine how boring life would be without idioms? Says here, idioms are usually not translatable. Sometimes if you translate certain idioms into Spanish, the meaning is lost. They won't make any sense. Sometimes they do, sometimes, most of the times they don't. But usually you will find that idioms from different languages and cultures can express the same feeling or idea in different ways. We have a Spanish example here. In Spanish, for example, there is an idiom, tomar el pelo. Tomar el pelo, which means to tease or make fun of someone. The phrase will literally translate into to take the hair. But if you translate it exactly the way it is into English, and if you use it in, for instance, in an English spoken country like the United States, Canada, or Australia, and you said, I want to take the hair, it won't make sense. They will take it literally. However, to express the same idea or teasing or making fun, in English you say to pull someone's leg. Now we're not referring to the hair, but referring to another part of the body, which is the leg. And it means exactly the same, but is with different words. Since language and culture are intertwined, the best way to expand your knowledge of idioms is by engaging in informal conversations with native or fluent speakers. But if you don't have the chance to establish a conversation or chat with someone that her or his native language is English, you can practice by watching movies or TV shows. And then pay attention to what they say, and you will find out by yourself that they use a lot of idioms. Then getting to know them and their culture. Now we're gonna see a table below with more idioms and their corresponding meanings. In the class we have in Google Meet, you help me to read the idioms and the meanings. Many of you will remember those. The first one, the first idiom says to drive someone up a wall. The meaning is when you annoy someone, making that person very angry. When something is easy for you to do or something for you to say, you say, that's a piece of cake. When you reveal a secret or you disclose some information that has been hidden, you said, I'm gonna spill the beans. To look daggers at someone is to glare at someone, to stare at someone, to look at someone. Another expression when it is raining so heavily, there are lightning, thunders, you said, oh, it's going to rain cats and dogs. And this is a very common used idiom in the States or in a English spoken country. To give someone the cold shoulder is to ignore someone, to pretend that the person doesn't exist, but you know she or he does. When someone wants you to leave or to go, or you go and leave, they say to take a hike. Why don't you take a hike? It means that you have to leave the place because your presence is not desirable. When you listen attentively, you said, I am all ears. It is to be all ears. To tie the knot is an informal idiom to say that you're getting married. So my sister tied the knot last year. It means that she got married last year. To kick the bucket, it can be used also as a euphemism to talk about death. When someone dies, this is a very informal expression that you don't have to use with everyone. You have to consider the company that you are with and use it. Because if you said, I know that your mother has kicked the bucket, it's not gonna sound so nice. Also, during the class, you were supposed to complete exercise 1. And also you did finish exercise 2 because we did it together. The first one says read the idioms and use an online idiom dictionary to draw a picture that shows each idiom's meaning. So we provided the meaning during the class, and your task consists of drawing them, illustrate them. The first one, letter A, is to be the apple of one's eye. We said that is when you are referring to someone that is so beloved to you, someone that is so precious for you, and that is the apple of your eye. The second, letter B, do you use it or people use it to refer that you are in love? Someone is in love because you feel or you have butterflies on your stomach. To paint the town red, it means go out to celebrate. Go out, especially at night, to have a blast, to have fun. Letter D is to break the ice, is to start a conversation with someone that you have never talked with or never talked to. And then E, to catch someone red-handed. What does this mean? It means that you are caught doing something wrong in the moment. Second is match the English idioms with its meaning. So you don't need a dictionary because they are a piece of cake. To become involved in a difficult situation is number 4. To have a great time, it's number 3. Letter C, what are you thinking? That's number 1. It's very easy is number 6. To be completely different or in total disagreement is number 7. To get some sleep, it's number 2. And finally, a very dear friend is a bosom buddy. This is exactly the way we had it in the previous class. Then we have exercise 3. Read each idiom and choose the correct meaning. Use an online idioms dictionary as reference. Letter A, out of the blue. We said that out of the blue means unexpectedly or suddenly. B, a white elephant. We agree that it's a waste of money, something useless. Letter C, to give someone or something the green light. Easy to interpret is to give permission for something to happen or for someone to do something. And to feel the blue is to feel sad or depressed. Then here we have more idioms. So the first one here is in your book. To have butterflies in your stomach is also in your books. This one, it is there in the previous lesson. This one, to work a graveyard shift. If you work a graveyard shift, it means that you work really late at night. To bite the hand that feeds you is to behave badly with the person someone depends on. It's like that you behave badly with your parents. They are the ones that you depend on, and you should not do that. To wag the dog is attention is purposely diverted from something important to do something less important. The TV news, the newspapers, and the government itself do this to wag the dog. They divert the attention of important issues with non-important news. For example, well, I'm not gonna give you examples, but you have understood what I mean. Then, to be under the weather. To be under the weather means that you're drunk or you're suffering hangover. To go out on a limb is to do or say something that lacks of evidence or support. Is to go out on a limb. You present accusations, but you have no evidence of them. Lend me your ear means to pay close attention, like I'm all ears. And to judge a book by its cover is also used in Spanish and is exactly translated into Spanish and means the same in English. Don't judge something by its appearance. Then we have more idioms. To wear your heart on your sleeve. It's to openly display your feelings. To steal someone's thunder is to prevent someone from having success. When someone steals somebody else's success. To have a gut feeling is intuition, that you feel that something's going to happen only based on logical analysis. You have a gut feeling. A bird in the hand is more than one in the bush, more than 100 in the bush. It's better to have something less valuable that pursues something more valuable that may not be able to be obtained. To cry wolf is ask for help when it's not needed. So it's like the tale of Pedrito and the wolf, right? When he really needed help, nobody believed him. To cut to the chase is to go to the important points. Head over heels is when you are in love. You say she is head over heels. It's deeply in love. Off the record, it's unofficial. We don't use it so much in Spanish, but in English, this expression is very common, out of the record. Take a rain check is to endure or survive something. Water under the bridge is something that happened in the past and cannot be undone. The last straw, or the last straw that broke the camel's back, is the final problem of source of irritation in a series that causes one to finally lose patience or for something to stop working. And a blessing in disguise, an unfortunate event or situation that results in an unforeseen positive result. And finally, we have these idioms just to end the lesson. A slap on the wrist is a small punishment or warning. Add fuel to the fire is to do or say something to make an argument, problem, or bad situation even worse. A taste of your own medicine is an attack in the same manner in which one attacks others. All bark and no one bite. Full of talk that is more threatening or impressive than which one can or will actually do. Cry over spilled milk. To be upset over something that cannot be fixed. And get up on the wrong side of the bed. To be in a particularly and persistently irritable, unhappy, and grungy mood or state. So now we're gonna watch a clip with more examples of idioms. Enjoy it.
Let's not beat around the bush, get the hell out of here. This video has been brought to you by NordVPN. Get 75% off a 3-year plan at nordvpn.com/domics and use the code DOMICS for an extra free month. If English is not your native language, you may think it's difficult to learn. Well, as someone who grew up speaking English, let me just say, yes, you're absolutely right. English sucks. It's confusing, there are too many rules and too many exceptions. I before E except on Tuesdays and during full moons or something. The birth of my channel literally begins with a video of how I hate pronouncing the word rural. And now, I'm gonna complain about idioms. Idioms are a group of words established by a usage as having meaning not deducible from those of the individual words, blah blah blah. Basically, figures of speech, alright? Example, raining cats and dogs, meaning it's raining heavily. It's raining a lot. But it has nothing to do with cats and dogs. Who thought of this morbid metaphor? They could have chosen rocks, barrels, tires, anything else that was heavy and not alive. If someone told me it was raining tables and chairs outside, I'd be like, oh man, that's some heavy rain, I should probably stay inside. But if I found out cats and dogs were falling out of the sky, I'd be like, what the f are we waiting for, Jeremy? We gotta save them! Idioms help us express simple feelings in a more illustrated and colorful way. And yes, I did look into the origins of these sayings, but personally, some of them just don't make sense up front. Turn a blind eye, or refusing to acknowledge something which you know to be real. Pretend something didn't happen. Like when you catch your sibling trying to sneak out of the house after being grounded, and then they threaten you not to tell on them or else they'll punch you in your sleep. You turn a blind eye. Also, that's blackmail. Okay, I get the blind eye part, but why do you need to turn it? If you're already blind, you won't be able to see anyway, whether or not you're turned. That's redundant. Either turn or be blind. They both accomplish the same level of visual ignorance. If it was turn an eye blind, now that makes sense. It's just more morbid. Eat your heart out, to feel great sadness. Often used as a taunt towards someone to encourage jealousy or regret. My goodness, another gruesome idiom. It's bad enough that I have to take my heart out to be able to eat it, but then I gotta eat it. This expression is often used with the name of someone famous as if to make them feel jealous of your accomplishment. Hey, what do you think of my painting? Wow, look at that. Eat your heart out, Michelangelo, am I right? I'm already dead. In a pickle, to be in a troublesome situation. Look, you could have picked a ditch, a well, a chimney, anything that could contain a body. But a pickle? Hey, I got your message. Ran as fast as I can. What's wrong? Just help me out, no questions asked. It's all downhill from here, used to signify that the situation will only get worse from that point on. But going downhill's the best part! Think of all the things and activities you do going downhill. Skiing, sledding, biking, hell, walking. None of these are fun going uphill. I guess in its defense, the idiom could mean being out of control while going downhill, but honestly, you could be out of control at any level of steepness. I've fallen up the stairs just as much as I've fallen down them. Tickled pink. To be delighted. Yo, Reggie, got anything good for your birthday? Yeah, actually, my parents finally got me a Switch. Wow, you must be tickled pink. Yeah, you're right, I guess it only works for white people. Wouldn't be caught or seen dead. Used to express the extent of which one would never be in something, particularly clothes, places, or situations. Which I don't understand, because when you're dead, you shouldn't be able to feel anything, let alone embarrassment. Ugh, Cindy, look at her top. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing something so ugly, ugh.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure they don't find your body.
Happy as a clam, an exaggeration of happiness. The complete idiom is actually as happy as a clam at high tide, because that's when they're least likely to be attacked by predators, but many go with the shortened version in reference to how clams look like they're always smiling. Nope, I disagree. It's just the angle of which you're looking at them. If you look at them from this angle, it looks like they're frowning. And rightfully so, because I like clam chowder, and being delicious is not a compliment you should be smiling about. Goody two-shoes, used to refer to someone who always does everything right and follows the rules, to the point of annoyance. Often used negatively. Well, I did you guys a favor and read the story of Goody Two-Shoes to see why. Let me summarize it for you. Marjorie, meanwhile, and her brother were two homeless orphans. Marjorie grew up only wearing one shoe. One day they meet a rich gentleman who buys her new clothes and a new pair of shoes. She was so excited and grateful that she exclaimed it to everyone she met, earning her name Goody Two-Shoes. She believed the rich man was good and wise because of his great learning, and so she learned to read and helped teach all the children in the village to learn as well. She prevented a man from being robbed and murdered because she warned him after overhearing some men plotting about it. She saved numerous animals from being abused by people. She was so wise and good that some idiots accused her of being a witch and put her under trial. She proves everyone wrong and continued being the Goody Two-Shoes badass that she is. Why is this used to make fun of people? I strive to be a Goody Two-Shoes, and you should too. Piece of cake or pie. An easy or simple task. There's nothing simple about a cake. There's so many different ways to make a cake. I guess if you don't care how it tastes, baking a cake or pie can be simple. But if the quality doesn't matter, then you could easily just use any other food as the idiom. Wow, that cake looks amazing! Did you really make that? Yeah, it was a piece of steak. What? Eat your heart out, Duff Goldman. Is that a famous chef or baker? That's a no-brainer. Okay, man, I just wanted to know if you made it. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, weirdo. Hey, what are you doing? They already know NordVPN is sponsoring this. But if you're unfamiliar with NordVPN, it's a virtual private network service that helps protect your privacy and security online, ensuring you browse the net anonymously with no...
So after this very illustrative video, we're gonna work in the workbook section. In your spotlights, of course. Here. Spotlight workbook. Workbook pages from 44 through 47. Okay, you have 10 minutes to work on this, please. Okay, class, if you haven't finished, you might finish on your own time. Thank you very much. See you next week. Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you.